Live from San Diego, welcome in Cozy Club to the first ever Late Night with Cozy here on YouTube. For tonight's show, we're going to be going over a brand new monthly series talking about the best characters in the game and also the best team. Monthly, we're going to go in and I'm going to be talking about the meta in Disney Sorcerer's Arena that you should be using and striving for in PvP. I thought to myself, what not a better time to start a brand new series at this start of the month. So guys, get your notepads out, get yourself ready as we're going to go ahead and uncover and talk about the most used characters in the game currently and the best teams that you can possibly make to sweat to go full competitive within PvP. So let's go ahead, let's get straight to business and talk about the top meta in the month of June. Now, to no surprise, you guys can see on the screen right next to me all the different legendaries. Let's kind of break down each and every one, and then we'll go in and transition to the teams. First and foremost, you guys know Hercules and Ursula. They're at the tippy top of the sweat factory of the competitive meta within DSA. Hercules being by far in a large amount the best character within the game, and Ursula creating so much control and strategy on the battlefield. You're going to find both of these on a lot of the meta teams. Now, outside of them, you've got a great hybrid tank in Beast who's able to control all that turn meter swapping on the battlefield and make your enemy think a little bit more. Now, of course, Hero Hamada and his best pal Baymax are going to be on this meta report. And again, I hope as we transition from phase 1 to phase 2 of DSA, we get more leaderships. I know Hero Hamada got a big bump up the last time we got new abilities or new character abilities. So hopefully some of these other leaderships get a nice speed boost as well. Obviously, being the only auto taunt or the only character to start with taunt in the game, Baymax is perfect as a plug-and-play tank and one of the better legendaries within the game. Now, you've also got the best duo that can slot into so many different teams, and you're going to see them in different teams on tonight's show, as well as the best plug-and-plays being Bubbles and Mickey. Now, Bubbles and Mickey are on probably the lower end of this character spectrum, but Bubbles and Mickey can kind of slot into any character team. If you are missing one of these characters, or if you've got, them not geared up yet, you can plug in any of them and they're going to get the job done pretty efficiently. These characters here, they didn't come to any surprise. I mean, are we shocked that these are the characters? These are the ones that you're going to keep seeing when you queue into live PvP. But what we really want to get to is the main core of this video, and that is going to be the best meta teams for the month of June. And we've got yourself 5 teams with a couple variations on tonight's show, and there are going to be able to kind of swap in characters on these teams. You don't have to use all the characters that you'll be seeing, but these are genuinely the best or considered the best teams right now in the meta, and most of them are going to be involving these characters. To go ahead and start today's list of the best teams in the month of June, we've got ourselves our first team that we actually got a full video on. If you guys want to see, it's considered one of the best Oceanic teams at the moment, and you can check the link up above to kind of know how this team synergizes and flows and works very well. There's a lot of different characters that you can plug and play. It's all about Moana just crashing the enemy with a huge wave. Hercules is there as pretty much a distraction, with Maui being that main taunter and Barley to support. This team right here has amazing punch-up ability, and if you're new here, punch-up means simply you take a lower team that can beat a harder team technically, and in Club Conquest, this is one of my main teams that I use to go ahead and take out loads of Hercules. You can go ahead, put Cobra, Bubbles, and Hercules spot, and take out pretty much any team that you see within Club Conquest. It's super hard-hitting, very fast, and very efficient. Overall, with the Oceanic faction, you can plug in Papa Gantu or Stitch or these other great Oceanic characters, but Maui is that core staple. And again, you guys can check out everything you need to know on that video that we've got posted all about it. Now, the next team here on Late Night with Cozy is going to be a team and a faction that has been rising month over month. In 2021, we've gotten Mother Gothel, Rapunzel, you've got Namari, you've got Gaston with a buff, the Quasimodo gang. Just continue to bring more and more viability to the Kingdom faction. Now, there are 2 Kingdom teams that are dominating in the meta right now. One is going to go ahead and have Quasimodo, Beast, and Belle, and Shan Yu, plus kind of a filler of a Kingdom teammate. That team's going to do very solid in the arena. But this Kingdom villain team is one of those teams that when they start snowballing, it is hard to stop. For instance, if you're going against Big Hero 6, yeah, they're going to have the opening turns. They're going to be a lot faster than you. But if they do not shut down Namari and they can't get rid of your big dealers here, it's over. Namari's going to capitalize on all that damage. They're going to pump out a lot. She, with all of these Kingdom villains by her, rain down absolute fury with the burn them out ability, and it just deals a 40% bonus damage per villain Kingdom teammate. Now, I know, Cozy Club, you're thinking this team's got no legendaries. It doesn't even seem that scary or really provide a big fear factor when you're going up against it. Yes, you could plug in Hercules or other legendaries. It's going to make it stronger, but this team definitely should be feared because the damage capability that it has underneath itself. Just look out for it. To wrap it in a bow, this is just a pure damage team that if you can't stop, the fight's over. For the third team on our list, y'all, this team right here, it doesn't have any new characters. It's definitely the most accessible to the free-to-play and pay-to-play community. It is just simply the Big Hero 6. Now, yes, there's no new sexy characters. You only have one legendary with Baymax, but with how the Big Hero 6 speed synergy is, speed is king within DSA, and they're just able to capitalize and overwhelm the opponent, no matter if it's Hercules or legendaries. You can pop Wasabi in here as well. Simply stating, the speed and damage output that Big Hero 6 does and continues to do is just so hard to match currently within the meta. We've got speed stones on all these outside of Go-Go, who's got an offense stone, and it just continues to dominate because right now, even with the villains or Oceanics or even some of the best teams in the game, they can just not keep up with the speed of Big Hero 6. And with this simple team, you can definitely climb up to Grand Champion within live PvP. It dominates with its speed. With BH6, as long as you know kill orders and kind of turn orders and things like that, you're going to be able to pretty easily overwhelm the opponent with the sheer speed and strength that they have. Now, altogether, this one is not too complex. We've got tons of videos on Big Hero 6, which again, you can check up right above the screen monitor there to go and get more details of what their strengths are, what do you do when you run against this team, and how can you utilize it for yourself. Now, the last bit on this team before we move on to the next is you can swap out a bunch of different characters here. With the tech faction, you can plug in the new Eve and Wally. You can put Sergeant Calhoun in there, Yokai. There's a ton of different tech characters that fit well. But if you've got all BH6, they all have that huge speed double upgrade with Hiro Hamada's leadership. And that is really what reigns supreme. Eve does fit in well because she's going to assist all the time with Go-Go and Fred. But if you just run this simply, you're still going to dominate. And unless something drastic happens with speed or with the next update, you can expect this Big Hero 6 team to go into the next meta as well. And when we go ahead and do July's meta tier that we've got going on here with the best teams, you can most likely expect them to be slotted in as well. So moving on, those last three teams were very solid and they all do a pretty good job being able to handle Hercules and all the craziness that's coming at it. However, these next two teams definitely separate themselves from the pack. The next two teams we're going to cover are arguably the best two teams in the game and definitely the ones you're going to see the most when you're going up against someone that just wants the W. The first of those two teams that we're going to talk about is a Miguel Mythical lead here, and this team absolutely slaps. If you're looking for a team that can just dominate the enemy, this one is absolutely crazy, and I actually enjoy it a lot because you get to use Pain and Panic in Hades. Now, I will say we're not talking about a full villains team today, which arguably could have easily been on this list. I wanted to save that for the villains best team guide that will be coming out a little bit later. But altogether, guys, this team, let's just talk about it and cut down what it does really well. Now, first and foremost, you're going to have yourself a nice speed leadership with Miguel at 10%. That's going to grow over the course of the battlefield. A fast Hercules, a fast Hades, and a fast Pain and Panic is just a nightmare to go up against. Pain and Panic with their stasis can shut down and counter any character within the game. Hercules is a unit by himself, and so just a faster Hercules is going to be that much harder. You've got Ursula to help you out against the faster teams, and then Hades to lay on even more damage if they're able to take out Hercules. Now, the thing that just really makes this team a headache is Miguel's leadership. If they are a mythical character, which in this case we've got 3 of them, they're going to have themselves a 15% chance, even if you kill them, to come back with 30% health on top of being revived. It's a free golden hammer, and they're all 3 elite characters, so if any of them come back, you're looking at an extra stasis with Pain and Panic, more Hades just blowing up with his empowered state, and Hercules, there's nothing worse than killing a Hercules and having to deal with him all over again. This Miguel Mythical team is going to give you everything you need with the abilities, with the character, and with just the overall control advantage with Ursula and Pain and Panic to conquer anyone you might go up against, and you're going to have the speed to do so as well. It's definitely like a fan favorite and one you're going to see out there a lot, but not as much as this next team. Oh, this team. For the last team on our list, we're going to be talking about probably the team that you run up against the most within DSA, and it just has the easiest time dealing with so many teams. It's got 4 legendaries. You can put in another one with Mickey in here and still absolutely dominate, and there's just so much to go through. You've got to go through a triple tank setup, Hercules with all the offensive firepower, Ursula with her control, and then you've got to deal with the duo ship of Hero Hamada and Baymax as well. If Baymax does land patient on Hercules, you can kiss your chances of winning pretty much goodbye. Legendary characters are just so powerful, and with 4 of them and Hero, who's pretty much a legendary, just so much to tackle to get through Hercules before Beast gets empowered, before Patient lands on Herc, before Ursula goes empowered and destroys your team. There's just so much happening, and then if you don't deal with Hercules, he's going to go ahead and throw a column and end your whole team. If you're just looking to dominate the meta and really kill anything you're up against, slap this team together, queue up live PvP. Congratulations, most likely you won. So there you have it, Cozy Club. Those are going to be the top 5 teams right now as of this video in the month of June, before the T8.5 update comes and before we see kind of what happens next. There's a lot of honorable mention teams that we could have mentioned. The Villains team, you're definitely going to want to keep an eye out for on the video that we released for that. You can definitely do a Hercules Barley Bomb that we could go ahead and link up above. That team can handle really any team on this list as well. As you guys know, my wish is that we continue to find teams with underutilized characters to go ahead and take on these meta teams, because it gets stale going after the same legendaries. It's for some people to use that best team over and over, and I'm trying my best for you guys to continue to find counters, because after all, we have over 121 usable characters within this game, and I want to start using these more notable characters, and hopefully they get more of a chance to be used in live PvP, and it's not the same 10 to 15 characters. Now, again, making this so that if you guys want to go ahead and dominate Club Conquest or live PvP, feel free to do so, and we're going to always be testing new comps to go against these insane teams. I want to thank you, Cozy Club, for stopping by the first YouTube Late Night with Cozy, where we went over the top meta teams in the month of June. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys enjoyed this new video and you want it to be a monthly series. I want to thank you guys for coming on Late Night with Cozy here, and as always, my friends, stay cozy.